Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 2 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now unfortunately we do have an update to the story we brought to you just an hour ago about a pedestrian being struck in a busy Greenville intersection on ECU's campus. Again, is video of the scene. We have learned that the pedestrian who was struck is an ECU employee. Now, it was a woman who was struck around 12:15 p.m. today as she was crossing East 10th Street and College Hill Drive intersection. Multiple first responders were treating the victim, who was lying near a concrete divider in the middle of the street. Police say she was struck by a pickup truck traveling west on East 10th Street. Now, there is a stoplight at the intersection with marked crosswalks. Westbound lanes of East 10th Street have since reopened to traffic. Mayor P.J. Conley is already renewing calls for a pedestrian bridge to be built at an intersection, posting on social media, quote, "Just had another person struck by a vehicle at 10th Street and College Hill. This only further emphasizes why we need a pedestrian bridge at this location. Praying for a full recovery for the pedestrian that was struck, and this is why we have to act now," end quote. Now, the mayor told WITN that the woman was crossing the busy street some 10 feet west of the crosswalk. ECU Police Deputy Chief Chris Sutton says the victim, an ECU employee, was conscious and alert when she was taken to ECU Health Medical Center. The deputy chief says they are still investigating the details of what happened, and it could be the first of next week before a decision is made on whether to file charges in the crash or not. Now, Sutton was quick to remind drivers and pedestrians to be cautious, saying, quote, "The roadways are areas where drivers and pedestrians both have to use the road surface. It's crucial for pedestrians to use crosswalks, use any crossing equipment at the crosswalk, like lights, limit their distractions, and wait for vehicles to stop before getting in the road. Motorists have got to be alert, limit their distractions, watch for pedestrians, and they have to stop at crosswalks," end quote. Now, just over a month ago, an ECU student was hit at the same intersection when a westbound vehicle hit the victim in the crosswalk. That crash brought renewed calls for improvements to East 10th Street. After the crash, the DOT did install upgraded signals about a block away in front of the student center. Of course, we also need to talk about the ongoing situation in Venezuela, as President Trump has now reportedly called off a second wave of attacks. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez has more.
The Trump administration is ramping up its efforts to control Venezuelan oil. And just this morning, the administration announcing the seizure of another oil tanker. This happened overnight. It's a tanker called the Olena. It was seized in the Caribbean Sea, and the operation was conducted by the Coast Guard in a joint task force Southern Spear. Now, the U.S. military also confirming the seizure. It is the fifth vessel seized in recent weeks as the U.S. tries to control Venezuelan oil. Now, in a new interview, President Trump making some of his clearest comments yet on expanding his military campaign in Latin America and indicating that Mexico may be next because he wants to target drug cartels inside that country. In a separate interview, this one with the New York Times, the president laying out his vision on his power as president on the global stage. He was asked whether he saw any checks on his power on the world stage, and he replied, "There is one thing, my own morality, my own mind," adding, "I don't need international law. I'm not looking to hurt people." Now, inside Venezuela, the remnants of the Maduro regime have started to release political prisoners. Now, the president overnight saying that that was a positive sign and that meant that he would not carry out the planned second wave of military attacks inside Venezuela. Meanwhile, President Trump meeting with American oil executives at the White House today. Gabe Gutierrez, NBC News, Bogota.
Well, thank you very much, Gabe, for that report. We now turn to your weather forecast, looking at cloud cover gradually building over eastern North Carolina skies as we speak. Coming up for today, anticipating again air temperatures topping out in the mid-70s. We've reached that earlier today in New Bern. The rest of eastern North Carolina trying to catch up, but this is a view through our Belhaven cam showing you again some of the clouds that are really building over the east. It's not just mid to high level clouds. You can clearly see across the Pungo River we've got some low-level clouds there as well. Now, rain chances today really haven't been all that impressive, just about a 10% chance of rain. We've seen some of those raindrops, though, for more coastal sections of eastern North Carolina. Some, certainly not all. Air temperatures right now in the mid-70s for many inland areas. We've got 75 degrees showing up in Kenansville, Kinston, Washington, Edenton, along with Plymouth and New Bern. 74 degrees in Jacksonville, along with Williamston and Elizabeth City. Hotspot on the map right now. No, not Greenville, still Stumpy Point, 80 degrees. But again, don't have a whole lot of faith in that thermometer. Right now, Greenville sitting at 77 degrees. A little bit cooler once you get closer to the water, but still seeing air temperatures at least 10 degrees above our seasonal average, even with those areas that are still in the 60s. And when compared to where we were yesterday, most areas have warmed up by about 7 to 15 degrees. It is a toasty day out there. And while we are going to see another warm day coming up for tomorrow, this heat is not going to be lasting into Sunday and Monday. The only reason we'll hang on to the low 60s on Sunday is because we're going to be starting out the day in the mid-50s. But a cold front rolling through that's obviously going to be giving us some rain chances will be shifting these winds. Right now, the winds are doing a great job of bringing in that heat. They'll be present again coming up for tomorrow. But as far as what we've got coming up for Sunday, things aren't looking quite the same. We're going to be seeing a northwesterly breeze really blow in and bring in some colder air to wrap up the weekend. Of course, it will bring out a little bit more sunshine than what we're going to see coming up for Saturday. But Saturday, the concern really isn't the cloud cover. We knew it was going to be cloudy. It's how often are the rain chances really going to impact eastern North Carolina. For most of the day, we're looking at fairly sparse, spotty showers. Fairly light stuff, certainly nothing extreme or severe. But Saturday evening, we will start to see more of a rain band pattern start to show up. This is, again, that last push of rain over the east that will likely clear out by the time we reach Sunday at around lunchtime. But again, heaviest rain likely, or I should say heaviest, the most widespread rain likely coming in early Sunday morning before sunrise. So most of us, again, are going to be asleep when most of the rain rolls through, but again, we will certainly catch some drops, not only on Saturday, but for Sunday morning as well. Now, beyond the rain, we've got an area of high pressure that, as you can see, is creating clear and sunny weather from Iowa all the way to Southern California and down, well, even including portions of Texas, at least most of Texas. That high pressure system is going to do a great job of shoving that frontal boundary, that frontal system off of our coast, but it's also going to do a great job of bringing in some of the colder air behind it. Note how we've got, again, raindrops kind of near the Outer Banks Sunday morning. But look back towards Kentucky and West Virginia, the moisture coming down, snowflakes. The air behind this cold front is going to be very cold, and that high pressure system is only going to reinforce that cold air as we head through the start of next week, really head through Sunday. But for this evening, air temperatures again likely staying in the 60s for most of the night. In fact, we'll drop into the upper 50s briefly early on tomorrow morning, and then we warm right on back up again into the mid-70s. It's going to be another toasty day tomorrow, despite the clouds and despite the rain showers. But then, coming up Saturday night into Sunday morning, overnight lows in the mid-50s, with Sunday's high at 60 degrees. I know 60 still sounds warm, but it really isn't all that warm when you start your day about 4 or 5 degrees cooler. Usually we gain about 20 degrees from your morning low to your daytime high. Not going to be the case on Sunday. I think some areas may actually end up staying in the 50s on Sunday, as that cold front again is really going to usher in that colder air through the day, dropping overnight lows back down well below freezing for Monday morning as well as Tuesday morning. We'll get another frontal boundary into the east coming up late Wednesday into Thursday, knocking air temperatures down again, giving us another weak chance of rain, but also producing sub-freezing conditions for your Friday and Saturday morning of next week. Well, that's all we have time for today's 2 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, I hope you all have a fantastic Friday and an even better weekend.